Right, so I'm doing a bit of work tonight. I thought I might do a video of me actually doing some work as well, just because it's a bit more fun for everyone. What I'm doing at the moment, if you've seen in any previous videos, I did a side sill for this side, like a sill extension, which will basically go underneath the skirt. Obviously, pretty much everyone knows what a sill extension is. That's going to look quite good under there. Problem is, I've not stored it very well, and to be fair, it was a bit sort of half-assed anyway, so it needs repair work and obviously doing properly, so it's not going to break or flex and things later on. So basically what it needs doing, this side's not too bad. It needs the back piece filling in on there. Obviously this is removable and it can be painted, which is perfectly fine and should be fine. Goes along here, you can see how low to the floor it is. To answer a few questions that I always get asked all the time, is it on air ride? Yes it is. One thing, in fact I might as well show you one of here. One thing you will notice of this clear, a bit different, the shocks, where are we? The shock is down there, which goes backwards onto the actual chassis, rather than, they should go the other way. It should go in there and up to the chassis that way. It should go up there. Where the torsion bar is and everything underneath there. But when Raven Hydraulics made the air ride, to spread the weight evenly, or as evenly as they could anyway, they put the shock that way instead, which works fine. Not sure you can even see the airbags under here. Anywhere, can you see them? I don't know. Kind of. Through there. Not very well. Anyway, back to the sill. Right, so I'm going to do some fiberglass work. It's going to be sort of a two-part video, this one. So I'm going to do this section. I've basically got to do this corner's fine, as I was saying. I've got plenty of little cracks in the skirt itself, which is like that. That also needs repairing. I'm going to do that with some heat glue, and I'll do that as I'll show you that as part of the second video when I start doing the fiberglassing. It's 18mm off the floor. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. That's 18mm MDF, and it's literally jammed in there just to hold it in. This corner needs doing. Needs a new section putting in there. I've got that somewhere. Here we are. Got a new piece needs putting in there. I'm going to make it a bit oversized, so I can always trim it down later on rather than making it too small and then having problems later. So that'll be in there. That's when the fiberglassing starts too. And I'll make a piece probably on the end as well, so it looks a bit better. But I might not do that today. I'll do that a different day because I don't know exactly where it's going to sit yet. But yeah, I'll do that. So part two in a minute is going to be doing some fiberglass work once I've done these repair works, and see if you enjoy watching a bit of this. Right, so part two. Slightly weird position for the camera because I want to make sure you can see it when I'm actually doing this stuff. Sort of, it's from the top down basically. What I've got, I'm going to obviously be fiberglassing all the way along here. It's quite rough along here, which it will be anyway afterwards, but I'll be using filler and stuff to get that basically nice and flat again afterwards, so you can't see any dodginess underneath and that sort of thing. Make it as nice as I can. What I've done is, like I said in the first part, I've heat glued all along there. It needs to be heat glued just because it doesn't need to be that strong, because I'm going to glass over it anyway now. It's just to keep the strength in it while I'm doing that. I've done the top piece, you can't really see. Try and move this actually. That piece there, you can see that now. I've done the piece there basically to finish the end off. So that's all good. I'll be glassing over that later. I'm not going to do the whole thing on video because obviously it's just be really slow and take forever. Just get the camera back in the right place and then we'll crack on and do some. Okay. Right. How's that? Okay, so what we've got, I've got my gloves on. I've got two pairs of gloves because it always goes through, the resin does. It's a nightmare. I've got a pot to use for the resin as usual. We're putting with the gloves on now. You can hear some weird noises in the background. I've got my activator, activator for the resin, just a little bottle as per usual, and a little paintbrush. That's the button, pretty much. Nice and easy. So I'm going to get the resin, which is pretty easy to do. From here, and grab my pot. It might go a bit quiet for a sec, but not long. Okay, so I've got a pot with resin in it. I'm trying to make it so you can actually see it. Not easy. Okay, there you go. That is, there's still some of that then, like I did. Okay, got a little bit of, try and do this in view of the camera. Hopefully, is that in view of the camera? Yep, right. Okay, a little bit of activator. You don't need a lot. Good tip with this as well, always put the bottle back on it because you guarantee you'll lose it or you'll knock it over and you'll have activator everywhere and you lose half your stock. And you really don't want to do that when it's like £7 a bottle. Okay, that's doing that. I've also got my fiberglass mat already pre-done. You can cut it with scissors or pull it off there or whatever you want to do, just to make it the right sort of shapes and things that you want. That's already nicely done. Okay, here's the matting. Okay, there's the mat. Everybody usually says that it's probably difficult to work in these kind of areas, conditions and things because there's not a lot of room really, which you get used to it, to be fair. Doesn't really bother me. I hope you can still see past me here. What I tend to do with this, I put it on the side of the tin, and then rather than dipping it fully in, because you end up losing half your resin, and putting too much on, you better put it on the edge of the tin, like that, and then just sort of spread a little bit on, like that. You can put more on later on if you need to. Okay, that piece there is going to go on here. Brush it on. You can use a roller for this. You're probably meant to use a roller really. A lot of people would say use a roller, but to be fair, I've never had any problems doing it this way around. Bit of resin on that. Just build that up a bit. Okay. So I'm going to try and get some strength into this corner. I want this to be nice and solid when I come round to before I come around to fill in, pre-filler work basically. Okay, probably need a bit less resin than that on here really. Same again, in the corner, do that. It's enough anyway there, to be fair, as it is. Position it where you want it. This is literally how easy fiberglassing is. I've been doing moulds and stuff, it's a bit different, you've got to get different materials and stuff for that, for making moulds. A lot of people have said I should make a mould of this kit and make it for a clear and set it on and things, but you want something exclusive anyway, it's more fun. Well, I think it is anyway. I wouldn't want everyone else to have the same as me, but also who the hell's going to want the same clear as this, to be fair? Probably nobody, I would say. Okay, so you see how quick it is. It's not a long job at all. I could do this whole sill in probably, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, half an hour I would say. I won't have that, the video won't be that long, don't worry, I'm going to do that. Okay, I've done the main base for this section, a little bit more resin on that. It's just about knowing, once you've worked with it a bit, you'll know what sort of ratios you need for the hardener, what kind of mat you need. I'll just use medium mat normally, medium matting. It's pretty strong, to be fair, it's alright. Try and get rid of all the strands if I can, just that it saves me having to faff about them later as much. You can't probably see from the view, from that view, I'm going to try and get some down the bottom here, so I want to get it flattened off, because it's never been flat anyway. Never been flat. I don't like that. That's all. I'll make it as nice as possibly can if it's going to be a show car. I'll answer some more questions actually while I'm here. Normal questions that people ask me. Is it going to be drivable? Technically yes, but no, not on the roads. It's not going to have an MOT. It's going to be a show car. If you're watching this video, then you'll know that anyway, probably. But I'll get that question asked about a million times. So, you know, how heavy is it going to be? Probably around about 2 tons. I don't know. I'm going to do a competition at the end, as I've said before, and you sort of guess the weight competition. Probably be, I don't know, 50p an entry or whatever, or I don't know, something like that, quid an entry. Have a bit of a cash prize at the end or something, I don't know. Something fun anyway. Okay. If you're finding this interesting, you're probably doing some kits yourself maybe. Max Power scene seems to be coming back fairly soon, I would hope. There's a show on this year, or should be, assuming Corona doesn't step in again, mess things up. Max Power reunion show. So I'm sure some of you would have heard of that if you're watching this as well, and you might be getting your own cars ready, and you're thinking, well, rather than getting any body shops to do fiberglass work, because that costs a fortune these days, why not learn how to do it yourself? It's not easy. It's easy to lay down. It's harder to get right afterwards, like the final finish really, but it's not that bad as long as you're good with it. It's alright. I say normally you would roller this. It's a bit awkward on this sort of angle. You'd normally roller it, basically because it gets rid of any air pockets in there. But to be honest, if you're good enough with a brush and you sort of stipple it down, like I was doing there, then really you don't have any problems with air bubbles anyway. By the time you've got the filler in, sanded it back and done various other bits and bobs with it and sealers and stuff, you don't really need to worry, to be honest with you. People worry too much on this stuff. Okay, I don't know if you can see past my head here. Apologies if you can't. So I'll get this as decent as I possibly can. I'll only run through one. Oh Jesus. Hang on. I haven't done that very well, have I? There we go. Some strands and things. It's going to look good this on the end. The sill itself, and the sill's pretty low anyway, but making these just makes it extra low. I'll say it's 18mm off the floor, 18mm off the floor, so it's literally silly numbers really, but that's when the air is fully out. Obviously the body pretty much rests on the tyres. There's no handbrake on the car, so it just keeps itself as a handbrake basically. Using the tyres as a handbrake. It's done that for years, never had any problems before anybody says anything. Right, where are we? I'm going to do a section this end. Not too far off the end of the pot now, really. So I'll only do this shortish video. What I'll do here as well. Oh, you can't see the other end, can you? I was going to do the other end and do the piece that I've put on the end to tidy up the end piece, but I can't really sure see it. You'll see my head or something. About it. Laying this down here. This is already pretty flat, to be fair. I don't really need to do that. Although I am doing this end. I'm hoping you can see this. I'm doing this end. I'm taking over the end of the sill, because I need that to be looking a lot better and tied it up for a final finish on the end of the sill, so you can't actually see like a big gap, basically is the idea. So I'm just going to put that in there. I should really have put a thanks, I'm going to change that a little bit. That's a good thing with this, you can sort of manipulate it still, even when you've put it down. You can still manipulate it a little bit. I'm going to change this slightly so it's not as bad. There we go. Okay, right, what I'm going to do, which will become a parrot in a second, is tuck that under there, like that. This end piece Hoping you can see it again. Won't stay like this, but I'm going to make like a bit of a base, so it's got something to work with later on when it's the proper shape. So I'm going to sort of prod that into the corner like that. So it's not going to be exact or anything. Same here. This won't even be there at the end. This will be different. Same with that piece. That'll all be trimmed off around here anyway. I just want to make sure I've got some sort of base to work with for the end section. I probably should have put some cardboard in there like I did on the other end, really, but you know what? It doesn't really matter, does it? It'll still be a decent level as long as I can get it bent underneath, which I can. That should hopefully come out a little bit. Don't want it to stick to it really. Just the base will be fine. That's fine. I literally just need that. There's a corner piece there. That's all I need, just a corner. The rest of it will get trimmed off anyway. It doesn't really make any odds. Blend it into the bottom of the sill. I'll grab that underneath. Let's see if I can do that. Just gives it a bit more strength underneath as well. It's starting to go off a little bit here, starting to set a bit, so I'll have to be a bit quick here. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, that'll be fine. Okay, that'll be absolutely fine. Bend that under there to make sure it doesn't come back again. That'll be good. That will be good. I'll just trim it after. Oops, left a bit off there. Okay. Sorry this is boring you by the way, but obviously it's got to be done. I'm going to put a bit more on this section here. I'm going to try to get the other sill I've just been working on, particularly. That'll be a nightmare. Well, it wouldn't be a nightmare, just flat it back, but I'd rather not do that. Okay. I'll re-strengthen this section. Just make sure that's all good. Let's do it right to the back. I'll make some new screw holes anyway for this to attach to the bottom of the sill. It sort of runs on a wooden piece underneath. I'll probably be working on this sill now for the next couple of weeks because I want to make sure all of this is fine. I've got to get the electrics working in the car so I can raise the air up a little bit. And that will then enable me to get underneath the sill what I was working on the last video. So I can't get under there at the moment to get the sander in, and I'm not doing it by hand because it'll take forever. But I'll get that working very, very shortly. Well, it's pretty much working anyway, I just need to plug it in and put the battery on. I haven't got a battery on at the moment, that's the general gist of it. Oops. That's the only problem with fiberglass, it's very messy. Very messy. Okay, move that along a bit. Some of this is just literally got to go over the back. Get it flat as you can. Get out of the way. All this will get trimmed at the bottom anyway. Doesn't make any difference. I'll make the most of it there. Oops, this again. What is it? Let's try that again. This is sometimes when you could do with something better to hold it, but you know, I haven't got anything right this second. But it'll do. It'll do. Okay, this is starting to go off slightly now, so it's not quite as manoeuvrable as it was before. It's doing alright though, it's doing fine. As I move that and use it while we're done up. Keep touching things, not ideal. For God's sake. This was working fine until just then, wasn't it really? But unfortunately, it's decided to be a nightmare. I'm going to put it to warm a little bit. I'll rub it that way. It takes about 24 hours to set, normally, like properly, fully. So it does start going off this fairly early this way, but you couldn't actually work with it or put any filler on it or anything for a good sort of 24 hours, realistically. It goes really hard after a while. Okay, looking quite good. Right, well, that's the general gist. Anyway, I'm going to put a little bit more on after this video is finished, just at the bottom there, but obviously you won't be able to see that because I'll get in the way of the lens. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks. I'll do some filler work on it next as well, once it's all set and hardened off, sand it back, and I'll do a video of that. And we'll see what kind of panel we can make out of it. Hopefully it comes out alright. But yeah, feel free to comment anyway. Hopefully you watched most of this video, if not all of it. Feel free to comment and subscribe if you can, it makes all the difference. And yeah, look out for some more videos.